Welcome to another episode of our podcast. And today we have a very special guest. And she's been with us, I think, I don't know, since the start, maybe. She's been with us for a long time. Welcome, Mom.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you
great
for
seeing
having me.
you, and I'm sure I'm not going to talk much on this, but yeah, but she has been literally one of the backbones of our company, and it's a pleasure always talking to her. Mom, tell us a little bit about yourself. How was your Upstack journey? How did you end up here?
Thank you so much for having me, first of all. And my lipstick journey has been quite a journey.
Quite a
Came,
roller coaster,
uh, I would say it was a very fun ride.
huh?
I had never had one of those moments or phases where I would feel like I do not want to come to work. I have been with Rapstack since 2021. And back then it was a very small team. We had around 7, 8 people in internal team. We did not have a structure. We did not have SOPs. We were in process of building what we wanted to be, what our identity, what our selling points would be, how would we stand out of all of our competitions. I think we are the first movers in Pakistan. But generally, we were still figuring out where we stand in the market. And that was the time I came in. And I think what Rapstack was going through is what I was going through professionally because I was also in the process of self discovery. So from 2021, and now we're sitting at 2025, I think Rapstack has now been winning awards. Inc. 5000 has been the latest we have received. And I think same for me. I have identified who I am as a professional. So I think I owe a lot of my professional life to RevStack.
Yeah, and what were the changes that you've seen like from that time to today?
Okay, in RevStack?
Yeah, overall, we know about it, but let's put it on
Okay.
camera.
Okay. One thing that I really feel has been consistent with RevStack from day one is the culture. The first ever roadshow, we used to call it roadshow back then. Now it's Rap Camp. The first time that we went on that roadshow, and you guys were with me, Azhar Athar Yavar, all three brothers were with us. And we used to chant Ding Dong Bubble song, if you remember, in the car going to places.
Yeah.
So the culture has always been there. And now, even at last rap camp, I had this video in mind. Athar on those 360 rotating, where cameras are shooting you and you have 360 videos. So Athar was still there. So I could sense that 2021 roadshow vibe and 2024 rep camp. So you guys have been pretty consistent with the culture. And one thing that I think we have done an incredibly good job is how we continue to educate the people that are in RepStack.
Yeah.
So I now have 27 certifications.
Nice.
27 certifications, 5 books that I've read for Abstract, 27 certifications, apart from the MBA that I was doing. So I think
Wow.
no other company would ever do that
Yeah.
in Pakistan.
Yeah, learning is a great, I think, opportunity for everyone. to improve as
Everyone.
well.
And I think we should take it as an
Yeah.
opportunity. I think Azhar really encourages people to grow. And I think it's one of our core values as well.
Yep. I think I remember that time, those roadshow. And sleepless nights, I
Yes.
remember because we would do Karachi, Lahore,
Lahore,
Islamabad,
Islamabad,
like
3
three
days.
consecutive days, and it was like crazy. All right, so tell us a little bit about your day to day and what does a director at Repstack do?
Okay.
Yeah, when they wake up.
So I'm just going to talk about my workday because it requires a lot of here and there's. So being director customer success, it's mostly about what currently our clients are feeling. So for that, to have a sense of that, all our CSMs are responding to emails 24/7. So there's no off hours for CSMs. If your client needs you urgently, you're going to reply urgently. If your associate has an emergency, you need to notify the client on that instance that the associate might not be working today. So if there is something that they can do to take care of their day or we can help them with, so we're going to do that. So we have a day start meeting where we have all our CSMs and we start by asking CSMs what they did yesterday, or what was the temperature on the client side yesterday, what were the goals.
All the clients, like everyone tells about all the clients, or it's just like that this is a little problematic. I
Uh,
see this problem coming
No,
up.
no. So for example, let's talk about Sheba. So Sheba is managing currently about 30 clients right now, let's say. So you'd be like, hey, Maham, I got in touch with these 15 clients yesterday because the other 15 would have been they're receiving emails or calls the day before, right? So he would be like, the Maham, I reached out to these 15 clients. Generally, the temperature was really good. Everyone's really happy. EODs are being delivered. They're really loving what the socials are doing. We are hitting targets. These 2, 3 clients, I feel like they're a bit iffy. This is what we need to do to solve these problems. So they are not just going to come and tell me that the account is yellow or that the account needs some assistance. They're also going to tell me what they're doing on that account. So just keeping me updated. And then we're going to talk about the opportunities that we aimed for yesterday. So, for example, Maham, I had 2 placement calls and I closed both of them, one part-time, one full-time. That part-timer I'm going to be aiming to close in the next 2 weeks to convert full-time. So that's how we start the restart call. And then we do round robin, Sidral and Shaba, everyone, Bisma. One by one, they tell us what they would be doing and what they did yesterday. And then after that, we have RevStack Daily Stand-Up, where all the departments are sharing numbers. And then we have client placement meeting. And then I am required to get on calls with the clients if they need some coaching or some assistance on what our associates can do better for them. Because I feel like it's very easy to hire people in general. Like, I know that's a very hard part, but I think just getting them to do exactly what you want to deliver results, that is where people need help. You can just hire a person, but is that person worthy of the job that you're doing, your job you want them to do? I know entrepreneurs treat their jobs like babies.
Yeah.
So they're really picky about the people. And if you make a very small mistake in the first 2, 3, 4 days, then they're going to be really iffy for the rest of the relationship. So you need to make sure that you're understanding and you're telling the person to understand that you are working with human resources and there would be ups and downs.
Yeah, definitely. You've been on the other side before, like you were working under another director and then shifting to director role and managing people. How was that jump for you?
Okay. The director I had the pleasure to work under was really good. And like Azhar, she also encouraged me to learn a lot and grow a lot. One incredible thing that she did for me is she handed me Andrew Cass's account. That was, I think, very defining moment for my journey at RepStack. Why? Because there were other people who were senior than me, but they did not get that account. Andrew Cass's account
Toughest
was really...
client.
I would not say toughest client. I love Andrew Cass as a client. He is also my friend. We also sometimes get on a call randomly and gossip about problems in USA, about problems in Pakistan, and about people that used to work for Andrew and now are not in Pakistan as well. So I have a really good relationship with Andrew. One thing that she did was she gave other senior people, people who had more experience, other accounts like Josh Nelson, big names, right? But Andrew Cass was given to me. And I questioned her that, why are you giving me this account? This account had a little bit of iffiness attached to it. So she said that, Maham, out of all the people that I'm managing, I think you are going to do an incredible job with this account. And that kind of boosted my confidence a little. And then fast forward 2024, I'm still managing this account. This is one of the best accounts that we have at RepStack. This is our JV joint venture. Andrew is in love with RepStack. So I think one part, Andrew Cass's account being handed over to me was one thing. And number 2, transition to a director. When I was a CSM, I was really bossy then as well. I would tell the CSMs, if you're having an offboarding call, please invite me. I want to experience by your numbers. So I want to play on your numbers. So I want to pitch the client to do this or that or whatever.
Even when you were not the director?
Yes.
Achha.
So I wanted to learn from their numbers.
What was their reaction? They were like, okay, come
Yeah,
on.
I think they were like, if you want to help us retain an account, why not? Because at the end of the day, it would be their numbers. And in my brain, at the end of the day, it would be their numbers.
Yeah.
So if
But
I
it
win,
would be a good learning.
yes, if I win, if I lose, then I have nothing to lose. Even when I was a CSM, I had that drive. And I think Athar saw that drive in me because when he called me that, hey, Maham, we want you to take over. And I was like, I do not think I have enough experience to manage a team of 5-6 people and manage 150 clients. But that is where I will help you. What I need you to do is be yourself and do what you have been doing on a bigger scale. Strategize. And
I think on our side, we never even thought of anything. It was never discussed. So it was like an automatic choice. But
I think it was because of that. I would just experience all of the things.
You had experience with everyone's accounts.
Yes.
So how is this role?
Best role ever.
Managing people, and because there are people who really enjoy management, but there are people who are like, no, I'm good with my day-to-day and this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to take this job. And some people don't want to do it. So how did you take that?
Management is not just about managing people. It is a very big responsibility. You have to manage their emotional states.
Yeah.
You're just not managing a human being that is coming to work and delivering numbers. You have to manage what people are feeling, what they're going through, what is their personal life. So because we work from home and I work with moms mostly, if Sidra's baby is sick and I am pushing her to close an upsell, that's not going to work. Yes, she might close an upsell, but I love leadership because I love people management. I think I'm really good at it.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I think I enjoy it so much that every time I get an opportunity to work with someone else, or you tell me that, Maham, can you take this person in your team as well? I would like, yes, a big yes. I would love to explore what this person's potential is and how we can achieve it. What's next? What's next? And I think I would never stop loving it.
You were working with Athar for a long while.
Yes.
Very different person
Yes.
from Azhar. You've switched they've switched their roles, and
Yes.
now you're reporting to Azhar. How is that going on, and how difficult was that? Because they have both very different personalities.
Yes. I think the difficult part is not the management styles. The difficult part was the time when I was transitioned. I was just back from my maternity, and then the transition happened just right after. Like when I came
They
back
were
from
waiting
maternity.
for you to come back.
Yes.
Another bomb.
So I just came back and I started reporting to Azhar. So that was the difficult part in my journey. But I think with Azhar was more like, I trust your vision. You give me the vision and you give me the results. With Azhar, he is the visionary and I am getting things delivered. And with Azhar, I feel like my vision was 3,000 feet and I would get to 3,000 feet. The uncomfortable part with it is that he's giving me 30,000 feet and I have to aim for 30,000 feet.
Yeah.
So the growth expansion with Azhar, it's phenomenal.
Nice.
I feel like I have grown in the 4 months that I've worked with Azhar after my baby. It would be worthy of 2-3 years. I would have grown in these 4 months because he would be like, Maham, this is going to be easy for you. If it was easy, we would not be giving it to you. It's difficult. That's why you are asked to do it. So that is really motivating.
Yeah, I think if you're aiming for 30,000, and even if you finish at 15,000, you're still 12,000 ahead of what you were thinking.
Yes.
So that's something that really is admirable about him. I really admire that. Imagine Inc. 5,000. I was like, all right, let's see.
5,000 years.
Yeah,
We got it.
The guy aimed at it and he got it. It's his vision. I truly follow his vision. I really appreciate the way he thinks. And initially we had more contradictory views. Now it's like more on the same path, and we're pretty much, of course you have those boxing matches on and off, but still it's something that, yeah, he is visionary, definitely. And what about that part? I think the most important part of your life, that you just became a mom and going on a leave, coming back. How is it now? How was it before? How has this transition been with you in your personal life?
I actually wanted to talk about this mostly because I think we have a lot of potential in Pakistan, because there's a very big market in Pakistan where we have so many women who have incredible degrees, incredible education and potential, and they're not working because they have babies. So that's why I wanted to talk about this. I think it's not difficult to work with babies if you have a support system, right? But not everyone has a support system, so let's be real. Now, what if you do not have a support system? I would like to advise all the mothers who might want to work one day that if you do not have a support system, if you do not have great in-laws or great supportive husbands, what you need to do is pay for a support system, pay for a very solid support system. So let's suppose if you're making 40K a month, invest 15-20K in a really solid support system, because then when your mind is going to be at peace, and that's not going to happen in 2-3 months, might be happening in 6 months, might be happening in a year. But when that point achieved and you have a really solid support system, then you can focus on your growth, then you can scale yourself. And then your 40 is going to be 4 lakhs and you're not even going to think about the journey. It's going to be so incredible. So just spend on your support system, build your support system, and then invest on yourself. It's really important for women to work. I think we should encourage more women to work, and RepStech is the best place for you to work. Please apply now. I'm telling you, either you're with a client or your internal team, you're going to have managers that are going to see you and not just look at you like numbers. Incredible
I
place.
think we have around 60% female.
Yes, and
in
for right
RepStech.
reasons, for all the right
Yeah.
reasons.
And I think it works for RepStech as well, because this is so much potential in so many women that is going to waste if they don't get the opportunity of working from home, and the kind of environment we have created. And it's not that we have created it. it's the way that we've seen that. All right, tell us a little bit about your style of working.
Okay.
Do you think you're really
Aggressive.
aggressive, or
Yes.
your personality is? But I should ask your subordinates. But yeah, tell us a little bit about that. How do you cope with that? Because we know that this is one of the toughest jobs that you're doing at Repstack. It is just not easy, because a lot of clients can go away for no reason at all sometimes. Some due to their own financial stuff and things. But then you need to cater that. So how do you think you take care of that?
Okay. So when it comes to results, my style is very aggressive. So at the start of the month, we set targets. This is the offboarding numbers that we are going to be allowing this month. The word we use is allow.
Allowing.
Yes. I think the wordings also really matter. If the goal I have in mind is 15, I'm going to give my team 10 and I'm going to push on it. Keep it 10, keep it at 10, keep it at 10, keep it at 10. We're going to fall at 12. And that 3 is a win that I can carry like a badge, right? Same for upsells and buyouts and every other thing. About the part where you said that my job is the most difficult, I think my job is the most rewarding at Repstack. I think there is no other job at Repstack that is as rewarding as mine. Because when an associate delivers, they see a change in their paycheck. They see a change in their lives. We have so many people going for Umrahs. We have so many people going for Hajj. We have so many people getting married, starting families. That is all a result of their financial independence. That is my job bringing in for them. Obviously, no client, when they are hiring associate, know exactly what to do with them. And that is where my team gets in. That this is how we can get to where you want to get to. Because let's suppose you want to scale to 500,000 revenue MRR per month, and you hire a salesperson. Now, what to do with that salesperson? You have that salesperson. Now, what to do with that salesperson? The hiring is not the last step, it's the first step. So making sure that you are dragging that person to the finish line along with the client, because sometimes you might not believe it, clients also lose faith. And my team and me myself are the ones who are pushing them that no, your vision has power, your vision has potential, just keep pushing. And 2-3 months down the line, 4 months down the line, they're thanking us. So I think it's the rewarding part of my job that always keeps me going and that always keeps me on my foot. My job requires me to be proactive, which comes to me as second nature. That's just who I am as a person. So it's very easy. I love my job. I enjoy it.
I think since the inception of Repstack, we've seen so many lives change. Sometimes it's so overwhelming. I sometimes get emotional, like people telling me about, and then people come up with certain stories that, oh, this happened to me, and this happened to me, and this happened to me, and thank you. And I'll be like, oh, really? We're making that change of a lifestyle, and amazing stories.
Generations, we're just Arsalan's story.
Yeah, I think.
He now has 2 kids, and both the kids are going to be growing up to go into corporate white-collar jobs now. That might not have happened if it was not for Repstack. So it's you changing generations and the brothers changing generations, which we cannot deny.
I think we all are in that.
Yes, but I think
we're all participating in that. But yeah, the vision comes from the top. So yeah, appreciate.
I alone cannot do anything.
Yeah. I think we have so many stories like that. What do you think is somebody who really wants to join Repstack and they're coming from a background which is very different, because not every company has their own culture and everything? What do you think is a couple of things that they need to do before applying for Repstack and come up with that mindset?
Okay. First thing, you need to be uncomfortable when you're coming to Repstack. Yeah. Why? Growth is uncomfortable. You need to allow people that will be training you to tell you how you are not fulfilling your full potential. Now you're not living your full potential. That means that you can sit better, you can dress better, you can speak better, you can talk better, you can communicate better, because all three, talking, speaking, and communicating, are very different skill sets. Being criticized on those things, first time professionally, and we are doing it for people who have been in the market for 4 or 5 years. When they come into Repstack, and we're telling them, no, you do not talk like you should be talking, you do not communicate like you should be communicating. What you need to know when you're coming to Repstack is you will be uncomfortable. There will be trainers who will be pushing you to your full maximum potential, and show up, be consistent, be proactive. You cannot be lazy if you're in Repstack. Mixed reviews. Like there are people who have experienced being let go in 2-3 months, and there are people who have been with us, like me, since inception of Repstack. So the main key difference between those 2 categories is one chose to be lazy and the other one was really proactive.
And there was a hunger for learning as well.
Yes, you want to do more. So if my job only requires me to go 50 miles per hour and I'm trying to go 51, 52, 53. That is what RepStack is about. And if you are that kind of person, I'm telling you, even if you do not have that level of skill set, we're going to bring you in, we're going to train you, and we're going to keep you.
I think, and one thing that if you have the learning mindset, if you have worked in the industry for already for 5 years, somebody asking you to wear a different shirt that day, it of course it's gonna hit you. But if you take it as a learning, you're like, all right, they know what's going on. You take it as a positive point. You make that change in your. I think that's the kind of person who would definitely excel in any kind of field, and this is just one example.
No, not even just for those people, for myself only. I am in the process of switching my internet. My internet has been very laggy for the past 2 weeks, and 2 weeks is a very big time for RepStack. So I sent in some applications to get my internet changed. Yesterday, Atha reached out to me saying that, Maham, your internet has not been performing very well lately. So it's not just those people. That is what I want them to know. It's not just you guys. It's me, Rooj, every single person. I think even Yawar would get to hear that if his internet is also lagging or if his presence is not good. So we all are treated the same. So if something is not good, it's not good. And I think that's about it.
I think me and Maham share. I don't know about anybody else at RepStack, but I think every time I come to Karachi, we have our breakfast together and we can talk for. But we need to cut it short. And I think I've touched some of those points that everybody wants to know. And it's always a pleasure talking to you. And definitely because you can talk for maybe 4 or 5 hours. But I feel sorry for your husband, but still. Yeah. But it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. And I had a great time.